Hey guys, thanks for tuning in this week to Life, Happiness, and the Pursuit of Balance. We are talking about finding the balance between eating healthy and still enjoying food. This is a topic I get asked about all the time. How do I do it? When can I have not so healthy food? How often can I have it? What can I have? So let's just dive right in. First of all, a lot of people believe in the 80-20 rule, which means 80% of the time you eat healthy and 20% of the time you can sort of cheat. I personally believe in the 90-10 rule. I think 90% of the time you need to be eating healthy in order to attain your health goals, your weight loss goals, and then to maintain them. If you're eating bad more than 10% of the time, you're sort of setting yourself up for a slippery slope of falling off track. So I go 90-10 with that rule. But that being said, you really can teach yourself to, first of all, enjoy healthy food, and then to enjoy your cheats and your treats when you do have them, but to not need them all of the time. One of the biggest things this is important with is sugar. So sugar is very addictive. It's like 10 times more addictive than cocaine, they say. They've done studies with rats and that sort of thing. So it really is an addictive substance, and getting that out of your body is really important to being able to stick to that 90-10 rule. And it does usually take about 21 days, 3 weeks, to break a bad habit or to start a healthier one. That's why I have a program called 21 Day Fix, because it's 3 weeks of instilling healthy habits in you. But think about that when it comes to your healthy eating and enjoying food and that sort of thing, or if you are trying to break a bad habit of like drinking soda or eating too many sweets, you really need to get it out of your system for at least 21 days so that when you integrate it back in, your body isn't overloaded with it and the cravings and the addiction aren't there and aren't as strong. Okay, so that's just one thing to keep in mind when it comes to eating healthy. Another thing is with the 90-10 rule is healthy food doesn't have to taste bad. It doesn't have to taste like cardboard. We've gotten stuck in this opinion that healthy food means it's not going to taste good and that junk food has to be horrible for you. And that's just not the case. So if you take the time to think about what it is that you want to eat, to look up a recipe for it, to grocery shop, to prep for it and cook it yourself, that already is so much healthier for you than going out to a restaurant. Restaurants are always going to use more sugar. They're always going to use more salt. They're 9 times out of 10, they're going to use cheaper ingredients. It's probably not organic. And you just never know exactly what is going to be in your food if you go out to a restaurant and get it, or if you buy prepackaged food. So anytime you can make it for yourself, you're already going to be off to a better start. And it's the same when it comes to the portions of the food. You go out to a restaurant and everything is like the size of your head anymore. It's like these massive plates of food. And we've been programmed to eat it to think that like, oh yeah, that's the right serving size, when in fact you're eating like 4 servings. So even if you ordered something healthy, you're overeating on the healthy food. That's actually a huge component of where my portion control containers came from, was taking a client out to lunch and we ordered these salads that were enormous and I ate a fraction of mine and she ate the whole thing, and I was like, wow, that's part of our problem. And she's like, it's just a salad. And I was like, it's not just a salad. So just knowing that eating healthy food and eating foods in the right portion is really important to finding the balance between eating healthy and getting to maybe enjoy a treat here and there, or a glass of wine here and there, because if you're overeating on healthy food, you're still overeating on the healthy food. So anytime you can cook at home, you're on a better track. You know exactly what is going into your food. You're putting all that love and all that energy in there. You know what you're buying, and you're going to serve yourself up probably a much smaller portion than if you go to a restaurant. And then cutting out the sugars, like I said, that's a really important one to eating healthy. Getting those out of your system so your body can sort of detox from it, and then you can introduce it back in slowly and maybe once or twice a week at best, but no more than that, so that you are following that 90-10 rule. And again, when I talk about recipes and cooking for yourself, like I said, people assume like, oh, I want cookies, they have to be horrible for me. I mean, a cookie is a cookie, and if it's gonna taste good, it's gonna have a little bit of sugar in there and a little bit of healthy fat like butter or ghee or coconut oil. But the bottom line is you can still make it healthier at home than if you buy a store-bought one. You buy a store-bought one, like from the bakery section, it's probably gonna be huge. It's gonna have tons of refined sugar in there. Or you go down the cookie aisle and Lord knows what preservatives and other junk are in there. But at least if you make it at home, you're picking what you're having and what you're putting into your body. You're gonna appreciate it more, it's gonna taste great, and then you can put some away in the freezer or whatever it might be so that you can save it for later. But that's all a part of enjoying this 90-10 rule. So if you can make your food taste good, and trust me, you can enjoy the healthy stuff too. I have my cooking show Fixate with my older brother. My older brother is a self-taught chef and one of the best chefs I've ever met. And I eat at a lot of good restaurants, you guys. And he's cooked all over the world. He's cooked at Michelin restaurants in New York and that sort of thing. When I asked him to co-host my show for me and he moved to California and I was like, okay, you know, we're gonna be cooking together, but here are your guidelines. And I gave him like, you can't use white flour, you can't use white sugar, you have to use this, you have to use that. He looked at me like I was crazy at first, right? He was like, I can't cook like this. He's Italian, so of course he got all mad at me. And he was like, what is this? This is nonsense. This isn't gonna make healthy food. And I was like, Bobby, I know you can do this. Like, you can make healthy food taste good that I wanna eat that. Like, you can make me a healthier lasagna. You can make me a healthier pizza. Like, I don't have to eat all this processed crap that I get. And you know what? He did it. So I know that there's food out there that's really good for you and that tastes amazing because it's on my cooking show. So if you're desperate for a recipe, you can always go to Fixate. It's on Beachbody On Demand. And it's the same thing with desserts. We make dessert recipes on there all the time. I'm not saying you can't have it. I'm just saying if you make healthier versions, it helps you stick to your 90-10 rule. If you don't know what a portion size is, there's a million different ways you can determine it. There's stuff all over the internet that tells you like measure it should weigh this much, or it should look like the size of your hand, that sort of thing. I have my portion control containers that you can get on Beachbody On Demand or on Amazon, and it shows you this is how much protein you have, this is how much carbohydrates, this is how much vegetables, this is how much fruit. It's really important to learn what that is and what that looks like on a plate. That's gonna help you stick to that 90-10 rule. So eating healthy and finding the balance between eating healthy and still enjoying your cheats and your treats can totally be done. You just have to put a little bit more time and energy into it. You can't go through the drive-thrus. You can't go out to dinner every single night. You can have it. Maybe don't buy a bottle of wine for every night of the week. Maybe you buy it for one night, whatever it might be. If you had a hard day at work and you want to have a glass of wine, or you've got friends coming over, or Friday night you are going out to dinner, that's when you schedule to have that extra glass of wine. Or maybe you're gonna go out to dinner and you wanna have a dessert at your favorite restaurant. You plan for it. You don't just have it every single day just to have it. It's something I work on teaching my son all the time. Like, kids, they like to ask for dessert as often as they can, and I'm I have no problem letting him have dessert, but I'm really big on teaching him, Dom, we don't have dessert after every single meal. Like, you don't need me to pack you a dessert every day for lunch at school. You don't need me to pack you or make you a dessert every day after dinner. It's really important that we learn that dessert is a treat. It doesn't happen every single day, maybe once or twice a week. Same thing with alcohol. You really shouldn't be drinking it every single day. It's a treat once or twice a week. So if you just implement these little things like cooking at home, learning your portion sizes, cutting out white refined sugars, making healthier desserts for yourself, limiting your desserts to once or twice a week, limiting your alcohol consumption to once or twice a week, adding in more fruits, adding in more vegetables, drinking at least half your body weight in water in ounces a day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you drink at least 100 ounces of water a day. All these little things can help you find the balance between eating healthy food but still enjoying the other fun foods of life and not feeling like you're totally restricted. It's when you restrict yourself too much that it's like you're on a diet. When you're that restrictive, you're on a diet. You don't want a diet. You just want to eat for life, to fuel your body for life and to feel good. So think about it like that. Food is fuel. It's there to help you feel good. What you put into your body will determine all of that. It'll determine what your skin looks like. It'll determine how your stomach feels. It'll determine if you have like extra anxiety. Think about it. You put a lot of caffeine in your body, that's a lot of stimulant. You can have it makes you jittery, it makes you anxious a little bit. It can affect your sleep. So all these things are really important, and which is why I say I implement that 90% clean, healthy food, 10% cheats and treats. I hope this helps you guys get on track and stay on track with your eating and realizing that you can still enjoy food for everything that it is in celebration and everything else, but you can do it in a really healthy way. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.